This week, we're going to start talking about how we can use the PySide2 library and Qt or Qt to make our own graphical interfaces to our Python programs. Welcome to another MetPy Monday. Hello, I'm John Lehman, a software engineer for Unidata. This week, we're going to start on an adventure using Qt or Qt and the PySide2 library to make a little graphical calculator that we can use to interface to the wet bulb temperature calculation in MetPy. So this will be a window that pops up and lets us enter our values and has a calculate button and then an output window. You can put plots and lots of other things in these Qt applications as well and make a handy interface that's a little bit more customizable than the notebook, though as you'll see it does require some more advanced coding and some more code. So first we're going to do our imports, of course. I'm just in an editor here. I'm using Atom. I'm going to import sys, and then from the PySide2 library, the Qt core module, I'm going to import Qt. From PySide2.qt widgets, we're going to import, and this is a decent size list here, Q application, Q double spin box, Q LCD number, Q main window, Q push button, Q VBox layout, and Q widget. All right, so there are lots of ways that you can make graphical user interfaces using Qt or any of the other graphics libraries, TK, WX, and so on. But Qt is one that works really well cross-platform, and they have a designer tool that we might look at in some future MetPy Mondays to make doing more complex interfaces a lot easier. But for now, let's just go ahead and create our simple interface. First, I'm going to create an app, which is an instance of Q application. This houses our main event loop, and we're going to pass any arguments that are given, though we're not going to use any, at least not right now. And that event loop is what processes all of your user inputs. We're going to create a window. It's an instance of the main window. And since the window is not a child of something else, we have to call .show. And then we're going to call the exec method. It's got the underscore because this was a reserved word in Python 2.7. So that's what's actually going to create the instance and run it. But now we need to create a class. And in this case, we're going to subclass the QMainWindow class. So it says I want to take the QMainWindow class and add my own twist to it. And this twist is going to be specifying the layout of our app. I'm going to call my class MainWindow. And it is going to be a subclass of QMainWindow. We need to implement a dunderInit method, which takes self. And first, we're going to superclass init. So this is going to get everything from the init method of QMainWindow and stick that here, basically. Now we're going to do some of our own settings here, such as set window title to be wet bulb app. Layout, I'm going to use the Q VBox layout. I'm going to create an instance of that, call it layout. Widgets, the widgets that I'm going to put in my application are going to be a Q double spin box, which is a floating point selector. a Q double spin box, another one of those, and a third one of those because we have 3 inputs to wet bulb: pressure, temperature, dew point. We're going to have a Q LCD number to show our output, and a Q push button, which is going to say calculate, that our user will use to perform the calculation. So for each widget, W and widgets, on our layout, we're going to call the add widget method with that widget. We're going to create a Q widget, which is sort of the generic catch-all widget, blank widget, none widget. I'm going to set the layout on that with our layout instance that we created. And we're going to call the set central widget method with lowercase w widget. And this means the widget is going to expand to take up all the space in our window, and this is going to be the central widget for our window. Now, this is not how we're going to do our final layout, but this gives us an idea of the components and gives you a little demonstration of subclassing and inheritance. So those are words that if you're not familiar with those, this sort of gives you an idea, or you can go do a little bit more research on those. But let's run our application and see what we get with these only 26 lines of code. We had an issue because we need to run parentheses there to create an instance of that. And now we get our little app. You can see that it knows how to resize. We can, of course, specify that behavior. I can click these, or I can enter, though we need labels. Our wet bulb app title shows up there, and we have a calculate button, and there's our result. So with just 26 lines of code, we got an application that knows how to do a fair number of things already, including close itself. So next week, we'll work on adding some of the logic to this and make our layout look a little nicer. I hope that you found this useful, and I'll see you on next week's MetPy Monday.